hope all you guys are having a very good Halloween and hope you get to scare a lot of people. For this video, I want to do a bit of a special, longer video to celebrate Halloween and some creepy ass urban legend stories that you can tell for Halloween. Up in New Mexico, I was always very into the outdoors, hiking, camping, rock climbing, etc. One summer when I was 19, I went on a 4-day, 3-night camping trip near my parents' house on my own. It might sound a bit weird, but I'd been to this area many times and it was quite safe. Anyways, I brought my camera and took lots of pictures. When I came back and developed my film, there were 3 extra pictures that I didn't take. The pictures were of me, sleeping, one each night. None of my stuff was missing or stolen either, and nothing had happened, but it definitely scared the shit out of me. My great-grandmother, ill for quite some time, finally passed away after lying in a coma for several days. My great-grandfather was devastated beyond belief, as she was his one true love, and they had been married for over 50 years. They were married so long it seemed as if they knew each other's innermost thoughts. After the doctor pronounced her dead, my great-grandfather insisted that she was not. They had to literally pry him away from his wife's body so they could ready her for burial. Now, back in those days, they had backyard burial plots and did not drain the body of its fluids. They simply just prepared a proper coffin and committed the body in its coffin to its permanent resting place. Throughout this process, my great-grandfather protested so fiercely that he had to be sedated and put to bed. His wife was buried, and that was that. That night, he woke up to a horrific vision of his wife hysterically trying to scratch her way out of the coffin. He phoned the doctor immediately and begged to have his wife's body exhumed. The doctor refused, but my great-grandfather had this nightmare every night for a week, each time frantically begging to have his wife removed from the grave. Finally, the doctor gave in, and together with local authorities, exhumed the body. The coffin was pried open, and to everyone's horror and amazement, my great-grandmother's nails were bent back, and there were bloody scratch marks on the inside of the coffin. A teenage boy drove his date to a dark and deserted lover's lane for a makeout session. After turning on his radio for the mood music, he leaned over and began kissing the girl. A short while later, the music suddenly stopped, and an announcer's voice came on, warning in an urgent tone that a convicted murderer had just escaped from the state insane asylum, which happened to be located not far from Lover's Lane, and that anyone who noticed a strange man lurking about with a hook in place of his right hand should immediately report his whereabouts to the police. The girl became frightened and asked to be taken home. The boy, feeling bold, locked all the doors instead, and assuring his date that they would be safe. He then attempted to kiss her again. She became frantic and pushed him away, insisting that they leave. Relentingly, the boy previously jerked the car into gear and spun its wheels as he pulled out of the parking space. When they arrived at the girl's house, she got out of the car and, reaching to close the door, began to scream uncontrollably. The boy ran inside to see what was wrong, and there, dangling from the door handle, was a bloody hook. A girl and her boyfriend were making out in his car. They had parked in the woods so no one would see them. When they were done, the boy got out to pee and the girl waited for him safely in the car. After waiting 5 minutes, the girl got out of the car to look for her boyfriend. Suddenly, she sees a man in the shadows. Scared, she gets back in the car to drive away, when she hears a very faint squeak. This continued for a few seconds until the girl decided she had no choice but to drive off. She hit the gas as hard as possible but couldn't go anywhere because someone had tied the rope from the bumper of the car to a nearby tree. Well, the girl slams on the gas again and hears a loud scream. She gets out of the car and realizes that her boyfriend is hanging from a tree. The squeaky noises were his shoes slightly scraping across the top of the car. A girl in her teens is babysitting for a family in Newport Beach. The family is wealthy and has a very large house. You know, the sort with a ridiculous amount of rooms. Anyways, the parents are going out for a late dinner. The father tells the babysitter that once the children are in bed, she should go to a specific room. He doesn't really want her wandering around the house, and she can watch TV there. The parents take off, and as soon as she gets the kids into bed and goes to the room to watch TV, she tries to watch TV, but she's disturbed by a clown statue in the corner of the room. She tries to ignore it for as long as possible, but it starts freaking her out so much she can't handle it. She resorts to calling the father and asks, "Hey, the kids are in bed, but is it okay if I switch rooms? The clown statue is really creeping me out." The father says, "Seriously? Get the kids and go next door and call 911. She asks, "What's going on?" He responds with, "Just go next door, and once you call the police, call me back." She gets the kids, goes next door, and calls the police. When the police are on the way, she calls the father back and asks, "So really, what's going on?" He responds with, "We don't have a clown statue." He then further explains that the children had been complaining about a clown watching them as they sleep. He and his wife had just blown it off, assuming they were having nightmares. The police arrive and apprehend this clown, who turns out to be a midget. A midget clown? I guess he was some homeless person dressed as a clown who somehow got into the house and had been living there for several weeks. He would come into the kids' rooms at nights and watch them while they slept. As the house was large, he could avoid detection and survive off that food. He had been into the TV room right before the babysitter came in. When she entered, he didn't have enough time to hide, so he just froze in place and pretended to be a statue. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed those creepy stories you could tell for Halloween. Maybe by a campfire or wherever. Maybe candlelight. Who knows? Whatever you guys want to do. I hope you did enjoy this video. I worked really hard on it, and please subscribe to support this channel. Like this video to let me know that you liked it. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and happy Halloween.